I'm Bill Cutler. We're here at Hyde Street Studios to talk about my new record, Crossing the Line. I came to San Francisco for the first time in 1967 during the Summer of Love. I came out with a friend of mine to explore the Haight-Ashbury. I loved it. When I first got here, I did some demos of my material. Somehow or other, one of my demos found its way to Bob Weir and David Ray. I first met Jerry Garcia in 1968 at the Matrix Club when I was out here on a visit to San Francisco at the end of a long jam session. It really wasn't until late 1973, after I had been in David Ray and Slewfoot, and that band had broken up, and Matthew Kelly was making a solo album at the Plant in Sausalito, which was the record plant then, and was a brand new studio, that Matthew decided he wanted to record a few of my songs. And on my songs, we put a band together to back me up on those tunes, and Matthew up. And that band included Jerry. It was Bobby Weir and me on acoustic guitars for several of the tracks, and Jerry on electric, and Dave Torbert from the New Riders on bass, and others. And Jerry got to the studio right on time. He was the kind of guy who couldn't wait to play. And I got to the studio right on time. And no one else showed up for about an hour and a half. So I found myself all alone at the record plant with Jerry. I sat down, took out my Martin guitar and started playing him all my tunes. And we started working on the song. And we struck up a friendship right there. And he told me then that if I ever made an album of my own, he would love to play on it. I didn't take it that seriously. But a year and a half later, when I did decide to do some tracks of my own, and the Grateful Dead were on hiatus and taking about a year off from touring altogether, Jerry had a lot of time on his hands and he was looking for projects to get involved in. He heard about the fact that I was going in the studio, and he let me know that he wanted to play on the record. I had already put a whole band together to play on that record, but Jerry said he wanted to play and asked me when rehearsal was. Showed up at rehearsal in a terrific state of mind and was ready to get serious. And I knew that he was a great improv guitar player, but I had no idea that he was going to have immediate chemistry with my band and just fit in like a brilliant sideman. He was never uncomfortable working with a second lead guitar player or anything. And in February of 1975, we came into the studio and cut what was about half an album's worth of material. After we'd finished that, the Grateful Dead went back on the road, reconfigured their touring operation, and Jerry wasn't going to be around for quite some time. So there really was no way to finish that project at the time. And so the tapes went under the bed. And they sat in the closet for about 18 years. Jerry and I remained friendly. We played together a few other times, but there was no opportunity to finish that record. I got a record deal in 1993 in my group called the Mystery Tramps, doing a cover of Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone as a hip-hop track. I was able to convince Bob Dylan to give me a sample of his voice going, how does it feel, from the original recording of Like a Rolling Stone. And you know, Jerry was a huge Dylan freak. I went to bring him a copy of the record just because I knew he'd get a kick out of it. And he said to me, what happened to those tracks from 18 years ago? Where are they? And I said, well, they're sitting in my closet. And he said, well, we better take them up to Front Street in San Rafael, which was the Grateful Dead's studio, and get them restored. And let's go make the other half of that record. Well, I loved the idea, but of course his health didn't really last much longer than that, and within, you know, a year or two he was gone. So the tapes got put away again until about 1998. But in 1998 I went back in to start working on the record, and around 2001 I finished it. And the second half of the record became songs that I cut in the same vein as the original 6 or so, and with a lot of the same musicians who had gone on to become much more prominent players by the time I used them on the second half of the record.